And you know the implication when the man loses his job, and now the woman is the one funding the home. So the man is just doing some menial jobs, but it is not enough to take care of the home. Now the woman is now the sole breadwinner of the house. Now this woman is an air hostess. You know the way they dress. They dress in flashy. That's their career life. You know, they have to dress in flashy ways. Their skirts are well trimmed, and every time, most time, this woman come home in the night. If she has gone for trips, most of the time when she comes back home, and you know, most of the time she will have to stay in hotels. You get what I'm saying? Now, recently, the man discovered that the pilot is the one that comes to drop this woman home. Initially, the according to their work ethics, is the official car of the airline that drops them home. You know, it drops every staff because it's in the night. But recently, the man noticed that the pilot comes to drop this lady home. And sometimes, you know, most of those times, the man has asked the woman, how come? Why is it that it's your pilot that is dropping you home? Say, oh, the official car was faulty. So, like the second time, the man asked, is the official car faulty again? He said, well, something happened. Well, since he's going my way, he dropped me home. But, you know, let me just give you another background. Before then, this woman has been complaining to the man that you've been becoming too fat. You are not looking the way you used to look before. You're not as active. And of course, somebody that has not been working for a while, you know, some laziness could set in, some emotional incapacity, emotional inconsistency could set in. Sometimes you might become moody. You know, somebody that have been actively at work, now lost his job, looking for work for 5 years, didn't get, you might become imbalance in your emotions. You might be overeating, oversleeping, over-worried, crying, and the like. So the woman has been, instead of I encourage the husband, she has been complaining that I don't like the way you're changing. You're not the person I used to know, and the rest. But now, the woman now comes back home, very happy, excited. But the problem is that they don't communicate again as usual. So now, to the main event of the story. This woman now decided to take this man. The woman told the man that I was going for a lunch with the pilot. And the man said, can I follow you? They went together. And during that lunch, the man, because he has been connecting some dots, was noticing the way they were looking at each other. And by the time they got home, there was a hot argument. The man left home, and while he was away, because he believed that the wife has been in infidelity, he went ahead and impregnated somebody. So, how do we resolve this issue? Somebody is pregnant now. Later on, we found out that actually the lady was not in relationship with the pilot. The pilot was just trying his best to appeal to the lady, understanding that the lady was already having a troubled home, but the lady has been resisting. But now the man, because of this mindset that the wife is having an extramarital affair, he went ahead and impregnated somebody outside. And now there's a baby. Remember, there's no child in the home. You remember I told you that, but now there's a baby with another woman outside. What do you think how do we resolve this issue? We are looking at vengeance, we are looking at marital unfaithfulness, we are looking at marital love. What should the man have done? What should have happened to prevent this situation in the first place? That's number one. Number two, how do we resolve this issue so that this marriage can continue? Can this marriage continue? If this marriage can continue, how do we resolve it so that this marriage will continue? So those are those two questions. What should we have done so that we don't land this eventuality wouldn't have happened? That's one. Number two, where should we go from here if this marriage will ever work, or can this marriage ever work? So thank God we are just 3, so we can go land. Or thank God we are just 4, we can go land. The pastor wants to say something.
My question would be, are they Christians? Because I don't think they are with all the explanation you gave.
Yeah.
We had something similar in the first service, and the question that kept coming to me is, are they Christians? So let's now assume
So let's assume
that they are Christians.
they are Christians.
Oh, no, they
of course,
cannot.
even if they might be coming to church.
That's not what I call Christian. Christian
Okay.
is somebody who allows the word of God to rule
dwell.
over their lives.
Okay.
And it's not that it's not impossible to find infidelity in the life of, in the Christian
Coming to
family.
church, yeah.
Devil can tempt anyone.
Yeah.
But the point I am making is that you don't, as a Christian, you don't. I'm not going to not to go out because I'm afraid of my wife or anything. I'm not going to go out because of God. So my wife sinned against me. Is it God that sinned against? Then I want to sin against God because my wife.
To retaliate.
Even if my wife went ahead and did all of that, should I now break my relationship with God because of a human being? That's why I asked, are they Christian? It doesn't appear to me that they are Christian. But if they are, then there's no fear of God. So now, how do we resolve this matter that has turned to become a problematic matter? A child is in it. I don't think I should talk. I think everybody should talk because I don't want to close it up.
Okay.
Sorry? Yes, exactly. The guy we just sent. So let's hear from Sister Jane.
Sister Jane. Yeah. My lady, let's know what you think. So remember those two questions. What should have happened? Or what should we have done so that we don't come up to this level? Of course, it's a sequence of events. So when those things were coming up, what should we have done to prevent it? And now that has happened, can this marriage continue? And if it's going to continue, what should we do to ensure that this marriage comes back? Thank you.
Okay. First of all, the eventual infidelity of the husband is not fully the fault of the woman. Not fully. Now, where the woman should have taken to her heels was where she saw that it appeared as though the pilot was making advances. For God's sake, yeah, and your husband was reacting. Now, for God's sake, his car is not the only car in town. So once you see that it looks as if something is coming up here, don't wait for it to be a full him saying it out. Take to your heels. It's better to understand later than for you to allow it to continue. And indirectly leading the pilot on. Because that's what I see. Now, you are seeing that, okay, the man is not this and all that. There will definitely be challenges in marriage. But what can you do at that time when you see that it appears as if my husband is slacking a little bit? Let's go for a walk. Let's do something together. It's not for you directly, but it's for him. At that point, sorry men, I know men can be very touchy sometimes when you touch on some topics. Don't mention it to him directly. That is what I'm working on. Yeah, let's just do it together. Yes. That kind of thing. So one, she should have, let's work on this together. Number two, she should have taken to her heels when she saw that the pilot was making advances. Number three, in fact, I would say the woman is not responsible for that child. Now, can the marriage continue? Yes. You must be ready to really, really forgive. Yeah, at that point, you need God. Yeah, that's the truth. Yeah.
I just want to say for the viewers that just joined the transmission, can you maybe repeat the scenario so that we can have a frame of reference? Thank you, sir.
Okay, for viewers, especially from viewers at home. So this is the situation. It's a long story, so let me just cut it short. Two couples, husband and wife, they've been married for a while, but when they started their relationship, the man was the breadwinner. Was the one responsible for the expenses of the home and the rest. But now, the man lost his job. Now, the lady is now the one responsible for the home. The lady is an air hostess. So for about 5 years, flies, goes to hotel, of course, and the rest. And now the husband has lost just for about 5 years. During these 5 years, the lady has been complaining that the husband has been changing. His emotion has been unstable. He has not been working on himself. He has been overthinking and becoming moody. There's no cordial relationship. So, but in the office, there is a pilot that brings the woman home recently. Initially, the airport shuttle brings the lady home. But recently, the pilot has been bringing the lady home. The man has been noticing it and complaining that how come? So the lady has been giving a lot of excuse. So the car broke down and all those why. Now, the lady had a lunch date with the pilot. The husband knew about it and decided to go with her. So during the lunch date, the man noticed that the lady and the pilot were having unnecessary eye contact and smiling and the rest. So because of that, the man confronted the lady. When they got home, the lady also got angry because of the confrontation, and then the man left the house. Out of anger, he impregnated somebody outside. So that is the issue now, is that we now later found out that all the while, the pilot was just making advances to the lady, and the lady was resisting. But back at home, the lady was putting up attitude to the man. So now the question is, what should have happened? What should they have done right to avoid this situation? Now that the situation has happened, now can this marriage work? So if this marriage will work, what should we do to make it work? Now there's a baby in it. Thank you.
Yeah, I've taken time, but the truth is this: if you've been through stuff in life, and God has helped you to be able to forgive at a point, it is painful. That's the truth. There's nothing you can do about it, but you must be willing to allow God intervene. Yes, allow God intervene first before you just look for as far as I'm concerned, that child is innocent before God, because that child has come, and the child has come as an individual. It is you that messed up. So come together, allow God. You need God in that point, because the feelings have been hurt. You have gone against our vows. Yeah, we have. But before we got married, excuse me, what about if you were not a virgin before you got married? Didn't you go to bed with somebody else? So those things you put them into, but it's bigger than what both of you can handle.
Mentioned, ma'am, the lady must be ready to forgive if this marriage will work. Then number two, the man, of course, we don't want to put on blame here, but the man was wrong because he thought that he was trying to get back at his wife. And then took a wrong decision. And thank God, Pastor mentioned that you shouldn't allow what somebody has done to you affect your relationship with God. Okay. And I think that summarizes. Forgive. That summarizes everything. Yes, ma'am.
I have a few things I wanted to just add, because Sister J has said most of the things. So now, what should they have done before? Before would be communication. Because even two friends, let me just say on a normal level, you need to communicate, right? So if they are going through anything, especially a man that doesn't have a job, it's a different type of a man that doesn't have a job goes through different type of mental this thing on another level. So sorry? Exactly. So that's one. Of course, he's not making money. He's already not feeling man enough. So now adding whatever he's seeing, I feel like talking to his wife would have opened up a lot more room to know what's going on, right? So he didn't even know the lady was refusing. So the lady was not telling him because of communication. So if they had talked more, I feel like some things would have been avoided.
Thank you.
the after time does a lot of healing. So